has to be done is to try to be with that person and not have any judgments come up and catch. So I have practices for these three tenets, and bearing witness practices for me has to be, if judgments come up, I see them, and then see them for being attachments, and do it as best I can. And I'm not superhuman. It's not so easy, and I don't think I could ever let go of all my attachments. But to the extent that I can enter like that, things will come up, and that's what I'm looking for. What will come up? I still can talk about that because it's not, things haven't come up yet. So for me, I have to go back. Auschwitz is the same thing. There's so many things that still haven't come up. So this will be the 18th year of going back there. And we have processes. We do counsel with what's coming up. We do have a lot, and those that study here know about counsel. We do have a lot of process. And when nothing new comes up, I will stop going there. But that still hasn't happened. So I keep going. What is essential in Zen and the essence of Zen? You can answer that, right? Now, what's the answer? What's the answer to the essence? Huh?
Don't know. I don't know.
Not knowing. That's the essence. That's why in Cohen's study, the main drive is to what is the source of mood, the essence of, what is the essence? Or the source of one hand clapping, or the source of, that's the essence, man. And then everything else is how do you express, and how do I go deeper with that? And for me, in life, if I can enter, not knowing means not, another way of saying not knowing, which is used a lot, is letting go. Letting go of your attachments. It is not knowledge. That is not the essence. It's not some experience. It's a state of not knowing. If you can get there without the experiences, fine, man. But there are a lot of ways to help us to do that, but that's considered the essence. And if you can live your life from that state, that's called a Zen person. I just made that up. What is the most important ingredient? Again, not knowing. They're all ingredients, and one's not more important than the other. The issue is we only can see certain ingredients. So that's what we make the meal with, that which we can see. I think I'll talk more about this tomorrow, but I view the world, I view everything as energy. There's a metaphor for this in one of the Buddhist sutras. It's called Indra's net. But I studied math and physics, so and you all know about the Big Bang Theory, so it all fits inside. It's all energy. And each of us has a sphere of this energy field that we can connect with. So that's our depth of interconnectedness. When I say that, I can see this sphere, and that sphere of energy, for me, is all past, present, and future. So another term for it, there's a term in the Buddhist world, it's called Alayavichanaya, and Jung had a term, he called it the cosmic consciousness. Alayavichanaya just means the same thing, it's a storehouse of consciousness. Anyway, so we can see a certain amount. So those are the ingredients we can see. And that's what we make our meal. Is one ingredient better than the other? No, they're all ingredients. Do we like them all the same? No. Some of them we'll call yucky. My son would take his plate of food and make piles of all the yucky stuff. He could see all the food, and there's some that were yucky, man. And then he had to figure out what to do with it. And luckily we had dogs. Slip the food over to the dogs when we weren't looking, but we saw it. Anyway, yeah, we're full of yucky stuff. And we have to deal with it. And the most common way of dealing with things that we call yucky, and I'll talk a lot about this tomorrow, the most common way of dealing with things that we consider yucky is we ignore them. So if you're a liberal person, you probably do not watch commentators that are conservative, and vice versa. The people that you invite to your home for dinner or for tea are probably people who think the way you think, share your opinions. That's the most common. The other extreme is we kill, destroy the yucky piles, destroy the cockroaches. That's very common. Another ground is we build jails, put people in jails. It's another way of dealing with yucky piles. The clown, the jester, is supposed to work with the yucky piles. Not the clown in the regular sense, but the coyote, what's called the nar in Europe. Any Jews here? So you know the word narishkeit. The nars work with narishkeit. Narishkeit means the stuff of the jester. Anyway, we'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow. I have a lot to say about that because I think that's very important because it's, I think we all agree now, and that causes very different clubs. Auschwitz I'm going to talk, I mean we only have 5 minutes, so Auschwitz I'm going to talk about tomorrow. There's a lot to say about that whole thing and the streets. I'm almost not going to do street retreats anymore. I'm getting a little old. My body's not as comfortable. But I am doing another one in September. A year and a half ago, it was the 20th anniversary of doing street retreats. And I had a very special one where I invited people from around the world that are now leading street retreats and that kind of work. We had a rabbi from Israel, a man from Poland, from France, from Poland, from Switzerland, from Belgium, Germany. They're all doing that kind of work. body to recuperate. And I said, that's it. That was 20, and there's a lot of people carrying on the work, and time for me to not do that anymore. But this rabbi, 2 years ago, started doing street retreats in a very poor part of Tel Aviv, called the Central Bus Terminal area. It's loaded with Africans at this point, people from Sudan and maybe 10,000 Africans. And they're being very heavily discriminated, and that was like the red light district of Tel Aviv. So it's very poor. And he started doing a street retreat there on Yom Kippur, which is a Jewish holiday called the Pentecost. I'm just drawn. So I will join him. This may be my last, but who knows? But I'll talk more about that tomorrow. I think the rest of the stuff I'm going to talk about tomorrow is quite a bit. But I have, we just have 1 minute. I don't want to rush through any of this stuff. So, want to hear any more? You got to come tomorrow. Okay. But I don't want to have the last word, so I will take one last question or thought.
What is the difference between knowing and awareness? Because in my opinion, there comes a moment at which you come in contact with the situation that you want to enter, and there's the intention of entering it with not knowing and letting go, but also of knowing that you want to.
Yeah, so here I'm going to be a little controversial, okay? I don't use the word awareness. It's a very popular word. Again, the sixth patriarch didn't like that word. There are schools of Buddhism that are based on that. I don't use it. And so I don't want to knock other schools, but I don't use it because I'm sort of a fanatic in my opinion on not knowing. And awareness is sneaking up on. Now, having said that, I have, in my opinion, I've experienced the state of not knowing. And saw it. And that seems to contradict what I'm saying. And the way I describe it, being a mathematician, is sort of, at that moment, I was pulled out of, it was like a meta leap out of this level of existence. And somehow, I have the confidence of that state. But I would not say that I was aware of it. I was doing I have a close friend, a guy named Ramdas, that many of you have heard of him. In fact, from Sunday, I leave here to go visit him. He's not in very good shape. He hasn't been in good shape for a long time. But he had a stroke many years ago, in which left him half paralyzed. He's still half paralyzed in a wheelchair. And he was living in California at the time. He lives in Maui now. He can't travel. He's just staying in Maui. And we belonged to, the two of us were sort of spiritual guys on the board of an organization called Social Adventure Network. It's businesses, the theme was business as a force for social change. And the two of us were on that board for a long, long time, sort of founding members. And so there was going to be, they usually have a conference on the East Coast, West Coast, and they were going to have one in Santa Cruz. And he lived at the time a little north of San Francisco. And they asked if he and I would do a workshop. And together, which we did. But at that time, and still his speech is pretty, not so great. It's much better than it was then, but you know, as he gets tired, he reaches the worst. But at that time it was a little bit worse. So at any rate, we were talking, and I can't remember exactly what the question was or whatever, but I just thought of it when I said this metal leaf. He said at some point, you gotta go out of the astral plane. He's talking to business people, you know. You gotta get out. And he says, explain to him, Bernie. Yeah, just get out of the astral plane. Okay, so have in Japanese we say, oyasumi nasai, which means have pleasant dreams. And for those who don't want, have some nightmares. And for some of you, I'll see you tomorrow. And we've got a lot to do.
Let me just
Oh, say something.